Hey guys, Candace Guys here, and thank you so much for tuning back into my channel for Motivational Monday. Listen, I started not to have Motivational Monday today because, as always, something has come up, and that something happens to be me being stranded in good old Monroe, Louisiana, due to the recent weather happening. So I'm getting home later than expected, and the flight is getting pushed back further and further and further. And that sounds like the perfect excuse to say, nah, no Motivational Monday for the day, right? Not to mention that I had a very busy weekend that kind of put me behind schedule on being able to do my recording for this. But I thought about it and I thought that I had something to say. So here I am today, and I hope that what I say makes a difference and helps you in some way, helps you to understand some of the things that I'm learning about myself, and find that you will find it something that you can relate to and something that helps you to be a better you, right? So where do I start? I would consider myself to be a very confident person. I don't think that I've always been a confident person. In fact, I know that I haven't. Throughout elementary, junior high school even, I always had some level of self-doubt about myself that was pushed upon me by the perceptions that I felt that I received from other people. She doesn't talk like us. Her hair doesn't look like ours. She lives there and not here. She doesn't wear this, but she wears that. And so, dealing with those type of conversations can put you in the place of always trying to be a people pleaser and trying to figure out how you can make people like you, right? So finally, senior year, I felt that I'd kind of grown out of it and came into being more comfortable with myself. But as I look back over my time throughout college, I realized that there were still areas where I focused a great majority of my time on what it meant to make other people happy, what other people thought about me, and that kind of determined how I thought about myself. And so today's Motivational Monday is really about the idea of self-love and why it's important, right? Because if I show you pictures of me at every stage of my life, there is something that I was complaining about. I was complaining about being too skinny with no butt. Then I was complaining about being too big with a gut. And then I was complaining about wanting to lose too much weight. And then I started complaining that I'd lost too much weight. I wanted to have short hair. Then I complained about wanting to get back long. I wanted to look a certain way, to have certain athletic abilities. Everything I could find to pick about myself, I picked at myself about that thing. And I came to realize that I never was happy with myself the way that I should have been happy with myself. Looking back on pictures now, I'm like, oh my God, I was so fine. But even at my finest, I could pick out a flaw that was wrong with me, right? And they were flaws that other people probably weren't even noticing or picking out as things that were problematic or that made me ugly or that made me less than. They were things that I had my own insecurities about. Why are you talking about this today, Candace? I'm talking about that because I'm now in a stage of my life where I have gained my happy weight from my 7 months of being married. And I noticed myself slipping back into the place of constantly having conversations about my weight, constantly talking about how I needed to change things, how I felt unattractive. And I realized that although it's important for us to focus on self-improvement, it's also important for us, and equally important for us, to focus on self-love. And we don't do that enough. And you're probably thinking, I do that. I love myself. I've never had a problem with myself. I'm confident. But for most of us, there's something that we've complained about, right? We don't like the way our texture is of our hair. The next girl's hair texture looks better. We don't like the slant of our feet. We don't like the pudge. We don't like love handles. We don't like the way our thighs look. We don't like the way that our thighs are too skinny. We don't like that our boobs are too small. There's never a moment in time for most of us where we find ourselves in a place where we are okay with the idea of being perfectly imperfect. And it took me doing some self-reflection to understand that, yes, I want to be the best me I can be. I want to be healthy. I want to look a certain way. But I also want to embrace where I am right now. And that's so important. That's so important because, I think back on my life, and there were times when, have you thought about how you've been around an insecure person or a person who has low self-esteem, and you might not have noticed those insecurities, but because they keep pushing them upon you and making them the forefront of the conversation, they become more prevalent and you start to notice them more. And they become unattractive to you in some ways. And it isn't even necessarily because of that flaw, but more so because of the fact that they don't have the confidence that they should have in themselves. And I say all that to say that confidence starts with you. The way people perceive you starts with you. The way people respect you starts with you. And so I encourage you today to go on this journey with me as I learn to love myself better, to embrace myself no matter what my circumstances are, no matter what the situation is, and to understand that it is okay to self-improve without self-hate, right? And I know hate is a strong word, without dislike for yourself. Embrace the things that are you, because those are the things that make you unique. Those are the things that set you apart. Those are the things that make you perfectly imperfect. So any hurdle that you're facing, anything that you think is a disadvantage, is something that you can definitely use to your advantage. It's what makes you, you know? And I guess I'm going to just focus more on that. Focus on being happy where I am. Because we get so focused on being happy with a certain place in our lives. And just looking through old pictures, I realized that you never find that place unless you get comfortable with where you are now. So I hope that helps you in some way. I hope that you grow to be proud of yourself at every stage in your life, whether you're in your first semester of college or your last semester in college, whether you've lost your first pound or gained your first 20 pounds. It's okay. It's okay. Love yourself where you are. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate you for listening to me. I know that this was kind of an impromptu talk, but I think that my subscribers and the people who are really a part of my trend appreciate the transparency that I bring to these kinds of conversations. So I feel comfortable having those conversations with you because I know that they will impact you in a good way if you allow yourself to soak them in. Listen, as always, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend about CandiceGeist.com. Love yourself today. Until next time, bye.